What's happening, guys? Jay here, and today we're going to finally review the Hagane Works 172 scale Blade Liger metal based action figure. Now, again, to reiterate, this thing is not a model kit like Kotobukiya's Blade Liger HMM. Instead, this thing is an action figure, which means it's gonna be pre-built when you buy it. If you guys haven't seen my unboxing video, I suggest you do because it will cover a lot of points that I won't be talking about here anymore. Anyways, let's get started with the review. So the first thing I want to talk about is that the Blade Liger Hagane Works, the biggest selling point for this action figure is the material that they used on it. Because mostly that's where your money is going to be spent. The alloy parts that they created for the Blade Liger, and of course the articulation, because this thing articulates just like an high-end master model. But the catch is, again, you won't need to assemble it, and you will have some very I almost said delicious. You're gonna have very beautiful alloy parts, which, I guess beautiful and delicious is almost the same. But yeah, anyway, it looks really beautiful, and I just want to show you guys here real quick how delicious or beautiful the metal parts here. I'm a big sucker for metal builds and metal parts, so when I found out this thing had alloy parts, I really knew I had to get it regardless of how much it cost. But yeah, as you can see right here, guys, the metal fixtures here are mostly located on the leg of the Blade Liger, on the legs. So as you can see here, those gorgeous pistons over there, they are just amazing. I mean, just looking at them will really give you, this thing can solve depression. This will really make you happy. Just looking at the pistons over there. One thing to point out here is that the original design of the Blade Liger in the anime had two pistons. Kotobukiya's HMM only gave us one piston, so at least this time around they made it more anime accurate. And then also look at the spring over there. My goodness, that spring, it's just beautiful to look under the bright lights. Awesome. And then you have the claws here also there. They almost look like they're plated with gold, but yeah, those are alloy parts. One thing to note here is that the claws are actually one piece, so unlike the HMM, you cannot articulate it separately. And then what else? You have a big slab of armor here. Let me just take out the Blade Liger from the action base. So there you go. As you can see here, there's a huge slab of metal over here that acts as the sort of armor piece for the back of the legs. Really, really cool. That goes for each leg. Actually, for the hind legs, you have a lot. You have a lot of other parts over here, kind of different. There's a piston at the back, as you can see, over there. Let me just focus my camera. There you go. So as you can see, there are some pistons here, front and back for the hind legs, and then you've got a bigger slab of metal armor over here. Also, you got the spring over there. Yeah, that's what you're paying for. I mean, this thing looks really gorgeous, in my opinion. Really, really gorgeous, and I think it's really worth the money just to have such a amazing action figure that articulates like a high-end master model that has metal parts. Now, I keep on talking about metal parts, but most of the Blade Liger actually is made out of plastic still, obviously. And the plastic, in my opinion, is a lot better compared to Kotobukiya's plastic quality. And why is that? Of course, I don't know exactly why it's a lot better, but just looking at it over here, you can see that the plastic that they use is a lot better in terms of injection, the color injection. It's a lot cleaner, as you can see right here. The blue is a lot cleaner, and then when you actually touch it, it feels less plasticky almost. Actually, there are many parts over here where you will think it's actually, basically you'd go, oh, I thought this thing is a metal part, but actually it's just plastic. It just looks like a metal part because it looks like a metal part. A good example of that is are the caps over here. I thought these guys looked metal when I was looking at them when I first unboxed it, but upon touching it, I'm pretty sure those things are just plastic. And then another part here that also has that same effect, in my opinion, are the blades. You might think that the blades are metallic, but they're not. They're actually pretty malleable, but they've got amazing detail and they're very shiny. Yeah, so yeah, it really, really helps the action figure to pop out. It doesn't just simply rely on alloy parts. The plastic is just really, really good also, so no problems there. One thing I forgot also is that besides the claws, the fangs also, of course, are made out of alloy. Look at those fangs, just so good. So shiny. Very, very nice. And then other than that, I think this one also is made of alloy. This cool sort of back spine armor thing going on here. Very nice. And then of course you have the metal wire over here. So the metal wire, since it's a wire, obviously you can articulate this in many ways, however you want, just like a wire. It's covered by these plastic sort of tubes that act as the protection for the wire. And then you've got this very nicely made tail over here that actually has the white color separation that the HMM doesn't have. And then other than that, that's pretty much it in general. One thing I want to talk about with the blue armor is that the blue armor has sort of decals, but they're actually not decals. They are printed, I think, on the armor. So an example would be these white parts over here. And then, yeah, these sort of stickers over here. They are not stickers. They're really printed on the armor over there. So that's really, really cool. Also, the attack boosters, as you can see right there. Very, very cool. Very beautiful. Yeah, it's really, really clean model kit. One flaw only, and it's really a minuscule flaw, is that you will see some nubs if you actually try to look for the nubs. So if you try to search for the inner parts of the model of the action figure, sorry, you might see some nubs here. I think in the whiskers they have one. There we go. If you can guys just see that. There's a bit of imperfection over there, these parts right here. But yeah, that's really, really pathetically, irrelevant. And you'll only notice it if you actually look for it. And no product is really perfect, so there's a few imperfections when it comes to the nubs. But yeah, overall, this thing looks really, really great. Again, some nubs over there. You might not even see it on camera, but I'm just pointing it out to you guys. But it's not enough to make a hindrance for this action figure. It's just gorgeous. And then finally, also, I forgot to mention, there are a bit of details over here that has some black sort of touch. It's almost like they panel lined it. So like this part over here, you see there's a subtle black marking there that acts like a panel line. So that's really, really cool as well. Alright, so that's mostly it for the material. For the plastic, for the color separation, it's a 10 out of 10, no doubt. Now let's talk about the articulation of this action figure. Now if we're to compare it with the model kit Blade Liger of Kotobukiya, the HMM one, this thing has the articulation of it for about 85 to 90%. There are a few limitations compared to Kotobukiya's high-end master model. However, for this one, it's around 90%, which is really, really good. Again, one of the limitations is you won't have separate claws. That's one. And then what else? For the boosters, right? I'm going to show you guys the boosters as well in one go. So the boosters can be deployed like this one. There's a peg over there, as you can see. Let me just show it a little better. There we go. See this gray part here? It attaches through there through a peg, and then all you gotta do is take it in and out, and then you can deploy it like so. It is susceptible to hit the armor parts of the shoulders, so you have to position the shoulders a bit so it deploys better and it doesn't hit a lot of parts. But yeah, if you want to remove the attack booster, you can just simply pop it out like that. And then you can display it in the classic Blade Liger design. All you gotta do is put the metal cap here. So GoodSmile company provided 2 extra metal caps for this one and the other side in case you want to display it like the traditional classic Blade Liger. But anyway, for the attack booster, I was going to point out that the boosters over here do not extend out. So unlike the HMMs actually can extend the booster out a bit, so it really looks like it's a booster. Unfortunately for this one, the booster here is fixed onto the lid, so it's simply like that. Doesn't extend any further, which is a bummer, but not a big deal. This one can extend a bit, so similar to the HMM, they got that part right. And of course, this thing can sort of move like that. Because again, yeah, it's called an attack booster because it can be used for attacking also, for long range attack. This thing is a cannon, so that's pretty cool. Lots of detail here for the attack booster. You got a piston there as well. Very nice. So, again, deploy the blades. It's the exact same way. So the blades have a lot of rotation to it. As you can see over here, you can extend that out. Very cool. One thing to note, however, is that this thing might come off easily. So you gotta be careful because this blue part here actually feels a little brittle. So every time you're trying to stick this in, make sure you support this blue part over here, because if not, this might actually snap. I'm not sure, but it might snap because this thing, the connection of the blades to the body, is really, really tight. So you have to be very careful with that. Now for the head. So for the head of the blade liger, it articulates almost the same except for the whiskers. So unlike the HMM, the whiskers articulate as a set like this, which in my opinion is a lot better, honestly, because one of the biggest flaws of the HMM blade liger is that the whiskers tend to break off, the connection and the pegs tend to break off. At least for this one, it's really secured. And honestly, in the anime, I've never seen the blade liger articulate the whiskers separately. So this thing is more anime accurate in my opinion. And then also for the HMM, you can actually move this part. For this one, it's fixed, not a big deal. And then of course you can deploy the shield. There's the sort of flap here, like that. And then you've got the upper part over here. Not a lot of not a lot of movement, but yeah, you can articulate it like that. And then if you withdraw it like that, it's actually really funny. It's like the blade liger is bowed because of how flat it is. So that's pretty cool. What else? You can move the head in many ways. So there's sort of a ball joint there, as you can see. A lot of movement. Very nice. And then what's cool here is that this sort of wire here, this connection over here, moves as you move the head, which is really, really cool. Very awesome, as you can see over there. And then finally, for the, not yet finally, but for the boosters, this thing opens up. And then one of the limitations again is that this booster over here is fixed like that. So unlike the HMM, you cannot extend this out. I think this is the only one weakness in terms of articulation, is that you cannot extend this out further, because unlike the Yamato Shield Liger, you can actually extend it out further like the one in the anime, but for this one, it's just fixed like this, which is, in my opinion, the only flaw in terms of articulation. What else? Now, one unique thing about this action figure is it has a ratchet mechanism for the legs. If you can hear that, guys. So what's the ratchet mechanism for? Two things. One, it makes this feel a lot more mechanical. It makes it really feel like it's a robot or a mecha. And another thing is for the quality. Actually, the ratchet mechanism is a lot more secured compared to traditional pegs. So over time, even if you like to articulate and play around with this more, it's a lot more secured because the ratchet mechanism gives it a lot of security and a lot of strength for it to age a lot better compared to traditional pegs where you just stick it in a polycap and you risk it breaking off. So at least it comes with that. And you know, it sounds pretty addicting, huh? So it has a ratchet mechanism there, and then of course there's a sort of hinge over there, which you can extend the legs really out like that. Very cool, as you can see over there. Very nice. So that's mostly it for the articulation. I already talked about the tail. Oh, one last thing I forgot, the shoulder vents, these things here, so they extend out a bit like that. Unlike the HMM, the white part doesn't extend separately from the blue part, so it's only one part like that. And then also for the body can move a bit, not too much, but yeah, it has some sort of bend over there, as you can see. Alright, so that's mostly it for the articulation. Again, it's 90% similar to the high-end master model, which in my opinion is really good. And then next for the video, I wanted to talk about the action base real quick. So you get the action base here. This thing is made out of plastic, and as you can see, it comes in different levels here in terms of height. I always prefer the tallest one just to give it a lot of height. And then you've got a screw over here that can bend in sideways like that, as you can see, and also like that, front and back. A lot of strong movement. It's really good and really secured. And then of course you have the peg over here that you can attach to the blade liger. So I'm just gonna put it on the action base. It's really easy to insert like that, super tight, really secured. And in my opinion, the action base really completes this model kit, or sorry, this action figure, because it's just so dynamic when you display it in a certain angle like this. All right, see that? Just it just looks amazing. I mean, I can't kind of show the entire picture of it, but just seeing the blade liger articulate like this, as if it's sort of pouncing on a prey or attacking an enemy, of course. Very, very awesome. Absolutely love it. Really, it really gives a lot of life to this action figure, as you can see there. So that's really, really good. It's a nice addition to the blade liger. Now, speaking of addition, one of the few things, and actually the one singular thing that I don't like about this is that for its price, I was expecting at least a painted figure of Van, Zeke, and Fiona. Because in the Yamato diecast action figure, they actually provided you with their figures, their painted figures. However, for this one, especially for the price, they didn't give us the figures. They only gave us standard pilots, which I showed in my unboxing. They're really just, black painted pilots. And it's unfortunate because the cockpit here is really, really cool. There's a lot of detail in the cockpit. Actually, if you have the figures of Van, Zeke, and Fiona, whether from the Shield Liger Bang version, the Blade Liger Bang version, you can fit them here. HMM character pilots can fit here, so there's no problem with that. So if ever you have their pilots already, you can fit Van and Fiona here. Now for the Zeke Zoid core, there's no Zoid core here, so you can't put any Zoid core inside this action figure. So that's a bummer. Alright, now for the last part of the video, guys, I'm showing you guys here a comparison, size, and design comparison with the Blade Liger AB by Kotobukiya HMM. This was released last year. Now, if you guys can see here real quick, there's a big difference in terms of color, because I think the color for the Hagane Works Blade Liger, this color scheme follows the Blade Liger AB Bang version, where the blue armor is a lot darker in hue, whereas this one, in my opinion, I think it's a lot more anime accurate in terms of color. I actually like the color of the AB more. The hue of the blue is a lot lighter, so it gives it a lot more feel to the anime, because I think it's a lot more accurate to the anime. Now, other than that, as you can see, of course, obviously the Kotobukiya HMM is a lot duller, especially when it comes to the spring here, and then the piston there, the claws there. You really need to paint it if you want to make it shiny, whereas this one is a lot more effortless, as you can see over here. And then finally, I think the attack boosters look quite a little different. So for the HMM, the attack boosters look a lot thicker and a lot bigger. For the attack boosters of the Hagane Works Blade Liger, I think it's a lot thinner and slimmer. So I'll show you guys here real quick. As you can see over there, I actually like this a lot more compared to this one. This feels a little big for the Blade Liger HMM. And then, of course, I want to point out, here's the booster again. So the booster can slide out like so, like that. Very cool. If they had this kind of function with the Hagane Works Blade Liger, that would have been cool, but you can't have everything. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Now, just for a quick summary, is this action figure worth it? It definitely is. I think the only flaw about it is that you won't get the figures again of Van, Zeke, and Fiona. But if you're not worried about that, then this thing is a 10 out of 10 easily. It's by far the most beautiful piece in my collection, in my Zoids collection, in my opinion. And other than those figures and the price, I think one flaw, if you can argue, is that the price is quite hefty. It's around $250. I got this for $250, $270, so it is really hefty. But again, this thing is solid, quality is great. This will age really well. The metal parts, in my opinion, is gonna age well. And yeah, you can play around with it. At least it's one solid kit. You don't have to worry about any falling parts. And best of all, it's a metal build, metal alloy action figure that's 1/72 in scale. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, please hit like and subscribe. I'll be seeing you guys next time. Thanks for watching, and till next time, goodbye.